There was an episode where I think Whitney had trouble pooping, and there was that show was way too real, and he put his finger up her butt to help her poop, and Whitney was like black love, black love.
I remember. Wait,
black love.
I didn't.
Looking all sweaty. I was like, what is going on here?
Don't be talking about Whitney like that. That's my
Whitney
girl.
can sing her butt off, but Whitney was doing some drugs.
Shanny.
Steve,
What up?
Shanny, Steve, what up?
Hey guys, welcome to the Love You More podcast.
What? Okay. How about chilling with Shanny and Steve?
No.
Like it's just hanging out with us. No? All right, whatever.
We end up doing whatever you want anyway.
Oh my God. Why are you so cranky this morning?
I am cranky.
Shanny's cranky this morning. I don't know why. Why are you so cranky?
I don't know.
You're so cranky. Anyway, here we is. That's bad English.
Here we is.
And our topic for today is black love still relevant?
Is it though?
We're going to talk about that a little later on. I think because we think a little differently on this subject. We're probably going to fight. But before we get into that, we want to get into our Black Excellence Spotlight of the week. And it's a very heavy week.
Our Black Excellence Spotlight for the week is Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey Hussle.
If you haven't heard by now, he is a rapper who died last Sunday, March 31st.
I'll be honest with you. When Shanny first said to me, "You heard Nipsey Hussle got shot?" I said, "Who?" I didn't know who Nipsey Hussle was. I didn't know who he was at all. I knew Nipsey Russell, the lion from The Wiz.
You didn't know that. Don't lie to the people.
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that either. But I knew that. I thought. I said, that's true.
Don't be lying to the people.
Okay, all right. What I said was, is that in like a 70s movie or something?
You didn't say that till
I
later.
did. I know. I said this is like a 70s movie or something.
Why get so loud?
I did, because I did. I did. That was loud too. Whatever the case is, I didn't know who the hell Nipsey Hussle was. I didn't know who he was. I think you had just found out about him a day before?
It was like literally 2 days probably before, because he was featured in GQ magazine with Lauren London, and I thought it was really sweet because I'm all about black love.
What was really crazy about this whole situation, and the reason why we're putting a spotlight on Nipsey Hussle, is that he did a lot for the community.
He did.
And over the past week, I've just been watching videos and just learning about this guy. I even listened to his album just to get an idea of who he is, who he was. And it's just like, seriously? Like,
right. This
is the guy you're going to kill? Seriously? Where hatred can take you is a real scary thing. And for us to lose a guy like Nipsey Hussle is a huge loss. And I only hope that, like, I think the other day there was like a gang unity peace walk. The peace walk that they did. I think that was really cool. And I hope that it's not just a flash in the pan thing. It's not just something that happened that one day. I hope that it's something that can be a seed for something. I hope that he died for a cause.
Right. Well, I think, listen, his life, he only lived for 33 years, unfortunately, but his life, like, he lived a very fulfilling life. Like, if you look back on what he's done, he started a STEM center for people who live, or youth that lived in Crenshaw, so that they could compete with people in Silicon Valley. So he was starting that initiative. He also had a space for entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs that lived in the Crenshaw area, where they can go and kind of just meet and have a space to hold their business meetings, and also, like, be around like-minded individuals.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, when you're in that environment, if you can get a place to go to that is an oasis, that is fostering and nurturing of your abilities and your desires and your dreams and all that, and you find other people who are also doing that,
right?
That's like, that, for some people, that's all they need.
Right.
For some people, that's all they need.
And I'm going to go ahead and say that people who have lived a rough life and come from that gang mentality, like, they have a lot of business sense. Like, it's not used in the greatest way most times. But they have a lot more business sense than people who went to business school or are in those suits. You know, making business deals and stuff.
They get buy low, sell high mad early.
Yeah. Right.
Like Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's so many different Jay-Z's in the hood.
Right.
Jay-Z just didn't stop. He just kept on going. And he had something in him, that drive that a lot of people didn't have.
And I'm not sure if the story is real or not, but he had a clothing store in a mall strip, like by Slauson, I think it's Slauson and Crenshaw. He bought that mall strip. Like, he was into real estate. Like, he was into making himself more wealthy so that he can help people in his community. And I think that was the basis for why he did what he did. And it showed through. Like, so much so that they're planning on having his memorial service at Staples Center, because it's not enough room.
That's
like
crazy.
No place has enough room to have that memorial, like with the likes of Michael Jackson having his memorial service there as well. So like, it just goes to show, like, when you have a vision for your life, wherever you come from, whether it be a gang or whether you have a rough start, like, just having a vision for your community can make you go places.
And I think, too, is, like, he dropped how many albums? Like, one...
I think he dropped one album.
No, he had another. He had the Marathon album before Victory Lap. But I think... And they had mixtapes before that.
Yeah, he had mixtapes, yeah.
But the Victory Lap is the one album that's like, oh, who is Nipsey Hussle? Like, that's the guy. But his music is not... why people are like loving him like that.
Right.
It's the stuff he did in the community.
Right.
And for me, that's a huge, huge lesson for me, because it's just like, sometimes as an artist, you get lost in, oh, my art will change the world. Right. And yeah, it could change a couple of hearts. You know what I mean? It can make somebody feel good for the moment. It makes, it can inspire a thought. And that is all true. But it's like, nothing compares to the good you put in the world.
Right. With
like, actual active things that you put into people's hearts and minds.
Right.
Like, the guy had a store for like a simple needs store, like underwear and deodorant and water and t-shirts and things like that, just so people can get those simple things that they can't afford. And like he was talking about the hierarchy of needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And we all know what that is, but it's like the bottom level of that pyramid is just your physiological needs, your air, your water, your food. And a lot of people in these neighborhoods
just don't have that.
Yeah, like that's difficult.
So to think about like somebody else's needs and you don't have the simple basic necessities of food and water and a place to stay, like how can you request that of somebody? And I think people that are higher up don't really get that.
Yeah.
They don't understand that. And I, to a certain extent, don't understand it, because I can look at the news and say, how can somebody kill this person and rob this person? I'm not really thinking about their backstory and, where they come from and why they did what they did, you know?
Yeah.
And I think Nipsey came from that, and he still lived in it. So he was able to kind of understand it and bring it to another level so that other people can understand it. Because his interviews, it was all about like love and peace, but also helping us to understand that gang side of the life that he was living or had lived.
Which is interesting to me, because like I think we were talking about this yesterday when we were talking about like what kind of person can create real change in a bad neighborhood,
right?
In a black bad neighborhood, and Nipsey is the perfect person to do that. Because if it's like Jay-Z can do it, but Jay-Z's been out of touch for a good 15-20 years.
Right.
Like Jay-Z's been living in the castle for like, you know what I mean? Like Jay-Z still knows about it, he still talks like it, but he's married to Beyonce,
right?
Like he's mad out of the loop right now, so. He can go back and he can do that, but he's gonna come from it from a different mindset, because literally half his life he's been a different person.
Right.
Nipsey was just there.
Yeah.
Nipsey still's a crib. He still be putting up gang. Like he can probably do C-Walk better. Like he's still in it.
Right.
And he still looks like it. when you look at him, you're just like, oh, that dude has killed many people.
Like at his marathon store, he had convicted felons that were trying to make a life for themselves working in the store. Like just on that level alone, because it's hard to get a job when you come out of jail. Like nobody wants to hire you, especially with like all those tattoos on your face.
I mean, even just the check box, like, are you
right?
Do you have do the criminal past?
Right.
If you have a felony, like, how do you get a job outside of McDonald's? Like, if even that. So for him to be able to give people jobs that need it, and are just out of prison, who made a mistake, who did something dark in their past, and now they're coming out and it's like, yo, I want to do good, but I can easily go back and do something bad. Oh, but Nipsey got me.
Right.
Like, that is huge. That is so huge. Yeah. And I feel like to take that away is real, like, you're not thinking about anything but yourself. Of course. Right. Like, when you're killing somebody, that's what you're doing. The good I take from this, or I hope and I pray comes from this, is that somebody picks up the slack. Right. Somebody who
is from that world.
Is either from that world or can be trusted. Picks up the slack. I think Nick Cannon said he's still going to do the documentary.
He's going to still do the documentary, but he ain't from that life.
He ain't from that life. I mean, I don't really know Nick Cannon's story, to be honest. I don't think he's from that life.
And then like in some of his interviews, he just drops like jewels, like talking about gangs and how originally they were for the betterment of the community. Like, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Like, I actually grew up in a neighborhood that was gang infested, I guess you can say. But I didn't know. The only thing I knew about gangs was that they were bad and I shouldn't get involved and that I shouldn't even speak to them.
And this is one thing that he said in his interviews, like you're saying, that like when you're in the hood like that, all you can offer is like heart. All you can offer is your heart to other people.
The world said we was wrong, but the set embraced you for who you was. You know what I mean? And that's the allure of gangbanging. In the gang is that you might have been broke. Your mama might have been on drugs. You might have not had, the material success, but the gang don't judge you on that. The gang judge you on your heart. You know what I'm saying? If you got heart, we gonna embrace you and we love you. And that's the only requirement. And so a lot of young people, that's all they had to offer. You know what I mean? They didn't have none of the qualities that made the world value you.
I mean, it's a sad week, man.
It is sad.
It's a sad week, and it really, really sucks to see someone like that go.
People love him all over the world. Like I saw an Instagram post. One of my friends posted. She's in England, and they had like a Nipsey Hussle shrine kind of thing.
For real. Man, I feel really dumb. I did not know this guy.
Yeah.
I feel really. I don't pay attention to hip hop people like that much. If you're not J. Cole, Drake, or Kendrick, I really don't pay attention. But I feel really dumb. I did not know this guy.
Yeah. Even though he died, his legacy is going to live on forever. That what he was trying to do, people are going to hopefully, even myself, like I can see I got to do better just as a person because I came from better than what he...
So what is it you learned from Nipsey? That's what you learned from Nipsey? Like, what can you take from it going forward?
A lot. I mean, like, he was grassroots. Mm-hmm. Like, grassroots. And I think just his heart and showing that, okay, I want to do this for my community. It's not necessarily about making money. It's not necessarily about, having that fame. But if I'm going to have those things, I'm going to use it to inspire.
Right.
Like, everybody.
Right.
And so you can take that and say, like, I don't have all the money that I want to have, and I don't have the fame that I want to have, but I can inspire at the level that I am at.
Right.
That's our
Black Excellence Spotlight. It's on Nipsey Hussle.
What was our tangle again? Black Excellence.
Black Excellence.
No, baby.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Nip.
R.P. Nip. So our topic for today, baby cakes. What's our topic for today?
Topic for today is, does black love still... What?
Is black love still relevant?
Yeah.
What say you, baby girl?
What say me?
What say you?
I mean, was it ever irrelevant?
Ooh.
I think we need black representation.
Okay.
Because our black families are no longer husband and wife and kids. It's like white. It's like mother and kids.
This is my thing. I don't think it's that bad anymore. I think it's a lot better than it used to be.
What? Why are you saying that?
Just evidence of what I see. Black fathers are around now. That's
I'm
not
not saying that the black fathers are not around. I can't say that. I can't say that they're not around. Because when I was growing up, there were both parents in the household, and very few had like single mothers. Now I think that's just a regular thing. It's just like, yeah, I didn't know my father.
When I was a kid, I knew several people. Actually,
I mean, I knew several people as well, but I feel like it's so much not like a non-conversation now. It's just what it is. Before it was like a conversation. It was just like, yeah, my dad left when da-da-da, or I never knew my dad because he da-da-da. Now it's like, yeah, my mom da-da-da. It's not even a conversation anymore because it's like so many people don't have their fathers around.
I don't know.
But that's not to say that they're not around, because the fathers that I know are very present in their children's lives. My father was present. My nieces and nephews' fathers are present.
I mean, this is my thing. I watch a lot of basketball. You know this. You watch with me sometimes. Mm-hmm. Back when I was in the 90s, early 2000s, when I was watching when I was younger as a teenager, the basketball players who came in, it was a norm that it was just the mom.
Right.
It was the norm. The mom was there. You had Iverson's mom. You had whatever, LeBron's mom. It was just the mom.
Right.
Nowadays, you see the fathers. It's not just Steph Curry's father. You see the Carl Anthony Towns.
You see Ball. You see Ball's
You
father.
see Ball, Carl Anthony Towns. Like, you see the Donovan Mitchell's parents. Like, you see both parents now. And a lot of these basketball players, they're different from how when I was in the 90s. These dudes was straight thugs. Like, there was constant issues with like drugs and arresting and all that stuff. Nowadays, you rarely hear about somebody assaulting somebody. Like, guys are just more well-rounded now because they do have fathers in their lives.
Right.
Like, you see it. And when I was younger, it was a common thing. Like, yeah, my dad ain't around. And that was, to me, it was back then, 90s, early 2000s, when it was like, yeah, daddies aren't around. But nowadays, I feel like black fathers are around.
I'm not sure. I can't say that I agree with you 100% because I still know a lot of people who don't know their fathers. Like, but it's okay because they have their mother, they have the love of their uncle, their grandfather, whatever.
But older black women? Or are you talking about younger black women? Older would mean like older than us, like 40?
Like our age. I hang out with and stuff.
Yeah. I think we're the last generation, I think.
I don't know. That's saying too much.
That's too much?
That's too much.
I'm talking about the last generation where it was like a known, like that's easy, like you don't have a father.
That's hard for you. You can't say that.
You don't think so?
That's too hard to say.
It may be too hard to say.
I think it's still important to show it because even in LA, I don't see a lot of black couples. Even though this morning when I was on my way to grocery shopping,
you saw a black couple?
I did. I saw them running together, and I'm like,
what?
And it's important. I think it's important for me to see it too because it's like, oh, I don't feel like,
we're alone.
We're alone.
Yeah.
And I know we're not alone, but I think it's important to see it. I think it's important to see it on TV. I think it's important to see it in your everyday life. And I also think it's important to show the hard times as well because you can learn from other people's hard times.
Right. I mean, this is a whole show on, was it Lifetime or OWN? OWN?
What?
Black Love?
Oh, yeah.
OWN, I think.
I'm not sure what it's on, but I thought that was a brilliant idea because I think it's important to show like the issues that people go through, the hard times, the good times,
I mean, I agree. It's important to show it. I'm just of the mind that I feel like the problem is not as big of a problem as it was 20, 30 years ago.
Well, why do you think that's the case?
Economically, I think we're doing better. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong, but I feel like there's yeah, black people are still broke when it comes to like overall, but they're just more wealthy black people.
Right.
Like, and we had a black president.
But I also feel like, you know, we look at these couples who have money and who have fame, but also seeing the couples who don't have money and don't have fame and are working 9 to 5s and are providing for their children, that's important too.
Yeah.
I think we don't show enough of that on TV. We don't show enough of the hardworking, middle class, even lower middle class families.
So what's your thoughts about Blackish?
I like the show Blackish.
I love Blackish. But as a couple, what do you think?
Oh, I actually think it is a strong representation of what is going on in the black community right now. The transition. In terms of her being a doctor who is the breadwinner and him being, he's you know, in his own right.
He's successful too.
He's successful, but she's more successful than him. Mm-hmm. And their kids, who he's like, man, you know, they don't have the struggles that I had growing up, and him trying to balance that.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's
him trying to balance like them having struggles and not having struggles, but still remembering where you came from. Mm-hmm. You know,
but you're saying because they're basically like the new Cosby Show in a sense of like being affluent and having all them kids.
Right.
The same sort of setup, but you're saying you want to see more like Good Times. You want to see more like Family Matters. Mm-hmm. The black family that's like middle class, just getting through sort of thing.
I want to see both. I want to see it all because there's so many facets to it, and I think
that's true.
I think what we show more so is the affluent black family.
There was a stretch in like the late 90s, early 2000s where all we did was show the affluent black people. Mm-hmm. Like all our movies were like black people driving Beamers, and it's like, this is a romantic comedy, but look at my house. Mm-hmm. And it felt like we were just obsessed with like, we're going to show you black success.
Right.
Which is cool to us, but after a while it's like, all right, can we get a little realistic here? What's a little bit of reality here? Because I can't relate to this, because I'm eating ramen noodles right now. Right. Yeah. But they were good movies. So what do you think about like interracial?
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
I mean, all relationships are beautiful if they're done in the right. Like, you know, if they uplift each other.
I'm saying like when you see interracial couple walking down the street, you're not like.
No. I'm not like, oh no. This is not something that should happen. Like,
right.
No, that's not.
Like black man, white woman.
We're going there.
What you think, baby girl?
I'll be honest. I'll be very honest. I'll be very honest because this is an honest podcast.
Honest podcast.
Okay. In LA, it is very normal to see a black man with a white woman. Very normal. It was not normal, and like, tell me if I'm wrong, to see a black on black relationship.
No.
Actually, I've seen it a lot in the past year or so. Like, a lot meaning like, oh, when I go out, I see one. You can go ahead and marry and date who you want to date. I just don't like when it's a black man talking bad about a dark-skinned woman or like looking down on a dark-skinned woman because like you came from that. Yeah,
when it's a complex situation,
right?
You fall in love with who you want to fall in love.
Right.
That's fine, whatever.
Like I have I love it. I love Gabe and Babe. They're my joint. Like I watch them all the time, and Stephen B in the background like singing their song. That's how much I watch them. And I love them. And honestly, he's low key black. But whatever the case is, I honestly, when I would see that, I wouldn't give them a look because I think you should be entitled to love who you want to love and go out with whoever you want to go out with. And I think you should get the support that you need from people around you. So why not?
Yeah, I hate that.
But I will be like, I hope he doesn't look down on black women.
You have that thought?
I had that thought. When I was in New York, I've had a guy say like, you know, he was trying to talk to me and he was just like, This was like when we first started dating. He was trying to talk to me on the train, and he was telling me about, I think I told you about it. He was telling me about his girlfriend or his wife that they separated, and he's going to see his daughter, and he was like, I don't date black women anymore. And I'm like, first of all, why are you talking to me like that? Because like I'm thinking he was trying to get a rise out of me, and all I said was, and I didn't expect this from myself, because usually I get the neck a popping. Okay,
you're from the Bronx.
When I was in New York, like I'm a completely different person now. I can still get the neck a popping.
You still get the neck,
but when I was in New York, I was ready at all times. Only thing I said to him was thank you, and he was confused by my response. He was like, "What do you mean by that?" I was like, well, I just want to thank you for not dating black women, having the mindset that you have about black women, because dating a black woman like that, you'll ruin black women for other black men who want to treat them as their queen.
Bars.
And I was like, at that time we had gotten off the train. He was like following me, and he's just like, okay. He was like, I could respect that. And I'm like, yeah, have a good day. And he's like, all right. And he just like kind of trailed off. I don't know what that did for him. I don't know if that made him think any differently. Probably not. Or I don't even know if that he really thought that way, if he was just trying to get a rise out of me. But if you think, first of all, if you're thinking that way about a black woman, then go ahead and not ruin it for another guy. Like, just don't.
Yeah.
But don't go out there saying it.
Right.
Now keep that to yourself, please.
Yeah. So what do you think about, like, me? When I think of somebody saying black love, I think of
mind you, he hates the term black love. He's just
hate's a strong
black
word.
Love. Like if
hate is a strong
say
word.
like Steven and I take a picture together and we put it on Instagram or something, and somebody writes like black love, he's
I don't hate it.
What does that mean?
I don't hate it.
Baby, you hate it.
I don't hate it, but my thing is just like, love is love. It don't matter. It's just love. It's just two people that love each other, right?
Right.
So my thing is like, black love is not better than someone else's love.
No, I wouldn't say that is the case. I think it's something of a Black Lives Matter thing, right? Because there's two sides to that as well. So we say Black Lives Matter because we feel like it doesn't matter.
Right.
Not because other lives don't matter.
Okay, so you're saying black love.
So it's like black love, like, I recognize that you guys are black and you have that love. Keep it going. That's essentially what I think black love means. It doesn't mean, that love is better than that love has more.
Okay. No, I get that.
Yeah, but he hates it.
It's just when I hear it. You know what I think of? You know if you remember this episode. Remember Whitney and Bobby? Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown had that song. They had a show back in the day. And I remember there was an episode where I think, Whitney had trouble pooping. And that show was way too real. She had trouble pooping, and he put his finger up her butt to help her poop.
Oh my God, this is too much.
This is on TV, and they allowed this on TV. And they didn't show it, of course, but they're telling on the show they're telling the story.
Right.
And he was like, I put my finger up there to help her poop, and to help the poop come out. And Whitney was like, black love.
I remember. Wait,
black love.
I didn't.
Looking all sweaty. I was like, what is going on here?
I don't remember why she said that, but I remember she was like, black love.
That's why she was saying it. Like, black love. That's black love.
Listen, okay?
Looking all high.
Don't be talking about Whitney like that. That's my
Whitney
girl.
can sing her butt off, but Whitney was doing some drugs. We gotta recognize what real is real. Whitney was on some drugs.
Love Whitney.
Love is love. I'll put my finger up your butt, baby girl.
Listen, okay.
If you can't poop, I will release. I will release the cracker.
All right. This is too much that he's doing right now. It is all the way too much.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to show. I don't have anything against any other races, or I don't have anything against any interracial. I love seeing great relationships. I love learning from other relationships what Steven and I can do better, because we're always trying to grow. That's one thing about us. I think that attracted us to each other in the beginning was that we both love to grow.
Yeah. And one thing I love about being in a black relationship I don't gotta explain nothing to you. You know what I mean? I could just be like, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, yeah. Another thing too about being in a black Jamaican relationship, we understand what good food is. You know what I mean? We get it. We get some yam and cocoa and tea. We know we finna eat.
I can say that I love black men. I love you see my chocolate hair?
You know what I'm saying?
This is my chocolate
You
hair.
see me?
Hair. I love black relationships, but I also just love relationships on a whole. I will say that I had a little stint of like when black men were dating white women, I was thinking like, what does he have to say about black women? Like I always thought like they had a problem with black women, but that's not the case.
Yeah,
I've learned, I've grown, I've met many people with, interracial relationships, and their relationship are bomb.com. So
bomb.com. Is that a phrase that people still say?
It probably isn't, but I still say it.
I just heard you say
I
it.
want.
I just heard you say it. No, but is it still relevant? I think the only place where we disagree is I think you think it's more necessary than I feel like it's necessary to promote. I think that's the only place we disagree. I feel like it's just good to see. I feel like you feel like it's a necessary thing that we need to see.
It's necessary. I mean, I feel like even with us, right? Like just showing that family life. I was like, okay. I got 5 on it, even though her rhythm was off. I was like, why? Why was she snapping like that? That threw me off. Yeah. Like it legit was like a thought in my head.
From the trailer, I was like, why? That's not. Y'all ain't on the right beat. First of all, why are you telling him to get on beat? First of all, from when he was 1-2 years old, he should have been just known what beat is.
1-2 years old, 9 months, they be like, baby shark doo doo.
Yeah. Once the baby shark was like. I remember I saw a video the other day and somebody was like, some baby was dancing to somebody and the guy was like, oh, and they're on 4. They're on the 4 beats. I was like, of course they're on 4 beats. What do you think that says? It's a Negro child. Negro children know what they're doing. I don't know what that is. We just get from birth. It's like, man. Go, Kiki. And they just, from babies, we're just telling babies to go. And they just like, yeah. Yeah, but that's that. I think black love is good. You think it's more necessary, and that's fine.
I just think love is good. I do think love is good in general.
Love is good.
No, I love love. I love to see healthy relationships. When I see unhealthy relationships, I literally can't keep my face.
Oh, like in real life?
Yeah, in real life.
There's times where you hang out with another couple and you're just like, y'all ain't gonna last.
That's terrible to say.
It's terrible to say.
But you know what? I also take from them like what I feel like they're doing wrong and look at myself and say, do I do those things or have I said those things? Because I'm not perfect. I really am not. I think in media and in like movies and shows and stuff like that, they show the black woman as perfect, I think. Am I right in saying that? I feel like they show the black woman as perfect and the man is all doing stuff round and about. But
This Is Us. Can we talk about This Is Us?
Listen.
The couple in This Is Us. Sterling K. Brown.
I low-key thought they were married before, but when, when we met his wife, what's her name?
We met his
wife? Not met, but when, like... Listen,
you just trying to name drop falsely? You just trying to make up things?
Not met, but like when I found out that he had a wife, saw them doing an interview or whatever. The relationship between the two, there's things that they do where I'm just like, that's Shanny. Like she would say something, I'm just like, that's my wife right there. And they're hilarious and they're funny and you just get it.
Yeah, she's fantastic actress.
She is. Her character is the best character in like...
Yo.
Right
on
now,
TV.
low-key, yeah.
Low-key on TV.
Yeah. What's her name?
She's 3 names.
Okay. It's like, she's Jamaican too. She's Jamaican
in real life? I know her character's Jamaican.
Oh, right. Her character's
Jamaican. I'm not sure she's Jamaican in real life.
Susan Kelechi Watson.
Susan Kelechi Watson.
Yeah, and you know what too? The fact that her character is like Jamaican.
That touched me too. Like when her dad was Jamaican, I was like,
that's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. And the thing is, her mom was Felicia Rashad. I was like, yo, Susan Kelechi Watson's the new Felicia Rashad.
Right.
Like, the way she acts, I'm like, yo, she's such a black woman. Like, she has his back.
Yeah. But she'll always...
But she'll let him know, bruh. I love it. When she's, like, self-sacrificing too much.
Right.
And he's just letting it happen because he's just used to steamrolling situations.
Listen.
That's such a specific thing that you don't see on TV. And that was awesome.
It's so specific and it's so true.
Yeah. It's just phenomenal to see a really good show that's
a really good show.
You feel like the people are people. That's a random thing. It's not even about black love. But,
right.
I mean, those two characters really do, they're black love. A challenge for the week.
What's our challenge for the week?
A challenge for the week is this. Do a kind deed to someone you normally wouldn't do a kind deed for. Even if it's a stranger. A kind deed where you go out of your way to help somebody that you wouldn't normally help. This week. Mm-hmm. DM us. Let us know what happened. How'd it go? Did you get punched in the face? Did you get denied? Did someone actually be like, what the hell? And now you're best friends with that person? Awesome. Let us know. DM us at Shanny Steve TV. So I think that's about it for our thing today, our Jimmy Jam.
I feel better.
You feel better?
Yeah.
I don't know why you're so crampy this morning.
I was crabby. I don't know.
You were pretty crabby this morning. You good now?
I'm good.
You have to talk it out? You have to talk about some things?
I have to talk it out.
Okay.
I love love.
You love love. Okay. So we're done. And thank you for watching. Instagram, Shane Steve TV. We're here next week. Have a good week, y'all. Stay up. Stay right. Shanny, Steve, we out.
Bye, guys.